When I first entered the Department of Corrections in 1993, I was 23 years old. I was pretty angry. I was scared. You know, I was in Elmira Correctional Facility, A block reception, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, I washed out my socks and hung them up and laid back on my bunk, and I looked up at the ceiling and I said, you know, there's a couple different ways I can do this. I can, you know, get into the same stuff I've been getting into out here in the street, because it's all the same but concentrated in prison, or I can really try to make a change in my life.
Prisoner Express started about 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, I found that first letter dated March 2002, asking for books. It came from a prisoner in Texas, and he asked me for books, and I wrote him back. He said he heard that we sent legal books to prisoners. And I wrote him back a letter saying, no, we don't do that, sorry, maybe I can help you with something else, but we never did it. And he wrote me back another letter thanking me so much just for replying, like that it was a big deal to get a letter, and that I wrote a letter that was courteous, meant something to him. And I thought, well, I can send this guy a couple of books. And this is always our mailbox here, and you can see there's always, it's not a busy day or shit, it's just an average day. This wasn't work I was intending to get to. I just work in a library, and as a librarian, I do love books, and I saw, you know, from these prisoners' letters that they needed books. So I was just intentionally trying to meet that need. When I send a book to a prisoner, it doesn't get read by one person. It gets read till it falls apart.
And I had an assault first, and 2 assault seconds on a police officer. So it was a violent crime, and it, you know, at the time, totally taboo. You're not coming home.
Most of the prisoners that we deal with are in administrative segregation, which means they're locked in single cells and they don't come out but 1 hour a day, often, sometimes less. And when they come out, they are often going to another cell that's slightly bigger. So their whole thing of communication often is screaming out of their cell to somebody vertically down the line, nobody they can see, and while they're doing it, everybody else is screaming too. So the whole thing is like bedlam and craziness.
You're dealing with maintaining your sanity, you know, that's your main focus every day. It's like, what is going to keep me focused on the future? Because really, when you're incarcerated, what you have is your future.
Of the people in prison, a percentage of them, you know, probably get really into prison life, get into, you know, gang mentalities, get into prison mentalities. But there's another percentage of people who discover for the first time reading, writing, education, who really get that they want to they don't want to repeat the situation. They want to change themselves. And for those people, there are very few opportunities to change.
It went through a phase where people were put in prison and given a cell and a Bible, and when they had, you know, completed their term and read the Bible and were released, were kind of assumed to be okay. It changed over the years to become warehousing type of structure where society's really putting people that they don't know how to deal with.